Hello, everybody. Happy 2021 to all. My name is Juice from the iFox with Juice podcast, and I'm here with my co-host Reen. We're back, and this is our first show of the year. Shit's been weird for the past few weeks, and scheduling conflicts, and honestly, sometimes just got our asses out of bed. We have a new administration in this country. I've been told we can fall asleep now, so my fat ass has been just going to sleep. I've been waking up till like 1 p.m. I don't know about you, Reen, but that's my new life in Biden's America.
I know, right? Insurrections and shit.
We don't have to worry about that shit anymore.
Riots and crap. Oh, well, that's what's been going on since, right? The 6th and everything, and the 20th. And
we're fine.
Fucking J-Lo singing again, and the fuck? Why did they even bother to give her an opportunity to sing? I thought she couldn't sing, but that's just me.
I didn't see any of it, so I don't know. I know they were raving about fashion and something about the lights in DC being Biden's outstretched arms for America or some bullshit like that.
Lord. I mean, it seemed a little lighter in the air, that day, but
I mean, there was only like 10 people there and a bunch of soldiers.
But yeah, next day it's like same old shit, right? Different day. We still got COVID and we're still in the pandemic, but thank God there's fights on now continuously because they're not in the States.
Well, they will be soon enough. And yeah, don't worry, you guys. We're not getting all political here. We're just sticking to our guns and telling you guys that, as much shit as we talked about Trump, we're still gonna keep on this boat. This isn't gonna change a goddamn thing. But yeah, obviously there was fights. Saturday? This should be coming out Monday. So yeah, a few days ago, Connor was back and he lost, and we'll get into that all in a second. But I think we should talk about some of the other fights first, because I know that's going to take up some time. So I know you got some stuff to say here, Reen, with Juliana Pena and Sarah McMahon.
Man, so upset with that. I mean, how do you come back from getting beat by Pena with the wrestling background? Shit. I'm going to have to hide my face tomorrow when I go to the gym. Wait, this won't come out until later, so I should be all right.
Yeah, you're probably right. How often does she go there? Right? Because she doesn't like her everyday spot, is it?
No, I don't see her a whole lot anymore. She used to, because her man used to be our jiu-jitsu coach, so she would be in there, at least once a week, maybe, and the baby will be there too, Lucas, which they mentioned on the broadcast, and yeah, he's a cute little boy. And
would you see her daughter?
Daughter sometimes, now, right? Yeah, daughter sometimes too, but school and gymnastics and things like that. So, because I think she's still doing gymnastics. But yeah, I would always like see her or whatever, when I have like jits or my kid has it or something. But that just bothered me, man. God, maybe because my hate for Pena is so strong.
What do you expect McMahon to do? You expect her to be GDR or something? Just pull a guillotine out of her ass or what?
I mean, her wrestling has always been there. I mean, she's been wrestling since she was a kid. So it's just, I wanted to see some sort of evolution. So, and now she's already 40 years old. And
yeah, that was crazy.
How much longer?
I saw that in the beginning of the broadcast. I was like, whoa, I knew she was up there. I was like, I didn't think she was actually 40 though. Damn.
Yeah, so how much longer does she have,
It's interesting for so many reasons, because I think she's kind of like in that DC mold. It's interesting, right? Because DC is basically 42, so they're at the same age range. And DC didn't get into fighting till late, as well as Sarah. And I mean, Sarah medaled in the 2000 Olympics. I think that's when she got her silver medal. And then I don't know how much she wrestled after that. I don't really know what she did in between 2000 to when she started MMA, which was basically like maybe 10 years ago. So I don't know. I don't know what she did in that time. Obviously, I don't think she had to worry with too much head trauma at the very least, and then hopefully that made her recoup from a assured injury she got from wrestling. But
Mm.
yeah, I get it. Like, it's not that she's like remained stagnant. Like, I know that's your biggest critique with Home, which again, up until 3 months ago, she really hadn't shown anything. I think she's evolved past when she fought Ronda, when she made her UFC debut, her Invicta debut. I think she's better than that. The thing is, she just has that Chael Sonnen streak. There's just something about grappling that, like Chael got better at points too, but his issues were always his issues, and it seems like Sarah McMahon's in that same camp where chokes are just not her thing. Like, she can choke people out. She has a good choke herself, but to defend, she's just not very good at that. And you think striking would have been her kryptonite, but it always seems to be on the mat, and I wonder if it's just she's too comfortable. Maybe she should focus on her striking more because like that tends to get her in trouble. Because I mean, Ronda's the only one that like knocked her out, and that was early on. So and she can hit really really hard. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, she's with Alpha Male and what it's all like wrestling and grappling, so like they had that connection with CSA, so maybe she
Yeah,
could get down there and get some work done before she gets to another fight. But it's just hard for her too, I think, because she's a mom. She has two kids.
yeah,
She's a
yeah.
gym owner too, so she has that as well. Whereas like Pena is just she has one baby and it's just fighting. She's
And
not
she
a gym
took
owner or anything
time,
like that.
and she took time too. She had a kid. I think she's like my age. So yeah, she was what, maybe like 28, 29, and she took a good time off, like a good what, 2.5 years. So she was there for her kid. She didn't have to deal with all the weight loss and all the issues that come with being a mother right away. She didn't go the Mackenzie Dern route, but obviously Mackenzie's been very successful. So I don't know. I mean, everyone's different. People are different. Women are different. But I think obviously that worked for her because she's been doing pretty good, even with the GDR submission. She's what,
Yeah.
two. She's won 2 out of 3. She was a problem even before she got pregnant and lost to Valentina. So the question is, will she ever be a legit contender? Or is she going to be that one that wins 4 or 5 in a row and then always shits the bed on the important ones? Because that
Yeah.
seems to be how it goes with her. But yeah, interesting points that you made with Sarah because yeah, I mean, being a mother of 2 is way different than being a mother of 1. And at her age and the gym ownership and new relationship and all that. Yeah, who knows? But yeah, you did bring up a good point with CSA because I don't think I've ever seen her there. I don't think she's made that jump, huh?
Yeah. I haven't seen it either. So, and I really shouldn't shit on Pena that much. I mean, she's a girl that shouldn't have been there, right? I mean, she entered a tough house with barely any experience, with any experience. And
And
well, look where she's at. She's like, where's
yeah,
all the rest of the girls?
yeah, and not to be an asshole because I mean yeah, I'm not too fond of Pena, so it's easy for me to shit on her. But I'm just saying the truth. She kind of got into tough because she was Misha's homegirl. Like, let's be
Right, right.
honest. Like
Yeah,
same thing with Connor and Artem. We'll talk about Connor later, but Artem kind of just got there because he was Connor's teammate. It's like, well, it's kind of the same thing with her, but she's definitely done her own thing and she's obviously had success.
right. So good for her, man. Maybe she'll get that matchup with Nunes, but her saying that Amanda's ducking her, that's a bit much. I mean, do your thing if you have to cut a promo, but that's not exactly true.
Well, Amanda regulated on her ass immediately afterwards. So I don't know if you
And
saw that
her
tweet.
baby girl too, and Nina too. So,
Oh, Nina said some shit too.
oh hell yeah, they were both going at it. I love them.
Dude, I don't even want to fuck with those girls, man. Oh man.
Both
And
fighters, fuck
and
that. I don't want
Nina's
that smoke.
smaller. She's not even on the same weight class as her, but yeah, I'm sure she'll throw down for Amanda. I'll fuck with her. Oh man.
They're so cute, man. I love them.
Oh man. Did they they had a daughter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, damn, she's gonna be a feisty one too.
Yeah, she posted a picture of her yesterday, right before the fights. She was
Oh yeah.
sleeping. Yeah, the baby was sleeping. She's like, I thought she would make it, or something like that. She's so cute. Her name is what, Reagan?
Reagan. I
I
was gonna
think.
say, like, I think her name was Reagan. So yeah,
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 so adorable. Getting
yeah.
big, full of hair.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, she has so much hair.
yeah. Because what was it? Well, Amanda, it was wasn't it Amanda's egg? And did we ever confirm? Was it Nina's brother?
I don't know what that is. I don't know what
Is
happened
that
there.
just us speculating, or is that some shit on the dark web that I go into?
I kind of mentioned, I'm like, I wonder if it's the brother, because Nina does have a
DNA.
brother, and yeah, does the
Interesting.
baby look like Nina? But baby's light skinned, so where's Amanda's mix? And
It should look like Amanda more, right? If it's her egg.
yeah, right, like a little bit more tan, but
Yeah.
so yeah, she looks like she's gonna burn. She gets out in the sun. She has that, skin type. So
Yeah, and as you know, babies, especially with skin tone, that shit changes a lot. But anyway, yeah. So all the luck in the world to McMahon, I guess. Hope she can get her act together, whether it's in fighting or some other thing. Hopefully, she seemed pretty. She didn't seem too beat up about it afterwards. I saw an Instagram post, and she's like, "Yeah, it happened." So we'll see. Hopefully, she takes in. She's taking it in stride, and then she see where she goes from here.
I'll hurt for her. So
Yeah, we're easy on her. And aside from that, the prelims were okay, but yeah, the main card is where the juicy shit was. And man, Amanda Ribas and Marina Rodriguez, we were sorry, Rodriguez, we were pretty psyched about that weeks back when it was first announced. And since the moment it was announced, I mean, it was originally supposed to be what Ribas and Esparza way back when, and then it ended up being Watterson. They both dropped down, ended up getting Rodriguez. And I don't know if you saw in the beginning of the fight, or maybe it was in the prelims, they were doing like this B-roll stuff that Rodriguez wasn't even too interested in fighting Ribas months back because she didn't really know who she was. And she straight up said, like, now that she's higher ranked and she's like right above me, right below me, I'm interested. But man, as soon as it was announced, I didn't know who would win. And even as they were stepping into the cage, I'm like, I have no idea. And the fight kind of played out like that. Ribas kind of dominated the first round. They're going at it. She was dominating, and then the second round happened.
yeah, she did spend a lot of time on her back, but at the same time, like Marina got a strong guard
Yeah,
because
yeah,
she wasn't. Yeah, because Amanda wasn't able to get out. And I guess later on, the coaches were like, "Yeah, you need to get out of her fucking guard. You need to get into side control or something." So, I mean, so I thought that was kind of impressive. I mean, she's fighting, throwing elbows off her back and just keeping her in her guard, and she wasn't able to do anything. So, yeah, that first round was pretty good.
she was doing okay on the feet too. Like, yeah, Rodriguez was winning there, but she wasn't totally getting outclassed. And then it went to the ground, and she had her moments. But yeah, like you said, Rodriguez has a good guard, being very active, and she got her with some really good strikes, especially at the end of the round. But Ribas was getting some in too. But then Rodriguez landed a right hand from hell, and I guess we have to get into it because it seems to be like it's always the case with Herb Dean. It's pretty cut and dry with me. Herb Dean has not been a good ref for years. I can't say like get rid of him because he's basically, aside from John McCarthy, he's done like his own system and like schools these other refs. But that was a terrible stoppage to me.
I think so too, because I mean, you could tell as soon as she got him, she's already wobbly. She couldn't even stand straight, right? She wasn't there.
Yeah,
And that just, and then for her to like get punished again, and the
yeah,
Marina to like finish her again, it's like, why?
because he was looked at her like, oh wait, we're still doing this. Like it
Yeah.
was, if you're really got hurt and you're there, like if she walks away, she literally turned her back to you and walked away, and you're there, you fucking attack her because clearly Herb didn't wave it off and she just rocked you. You better get on her, But she just stood up and was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And as Rodriguez also was like, "Oh, okay, really? Okay, fuck it, we're gonna do this then," and went at her. And man, that elbow! I know it was another right hand that ended up being the finishing shot, but That elbow frightened me.
Yeah, that was so unnecessary, man. Wasn't Marina like kind of complaining too, like pointing at her, like, what the hell? Like, what's going on?
Well, I think she was saying, and we couldn't hear her, and even then, I'm assuming she probably would say it in Portuguese, but I think she was kind of saying like, "I thought you called it, like it's over." No, I think that's what she said because I really think she left Hebus be because Herb did get close to her. He just didn't touch her. He didn't say anything. He just got close to look, and I
Hmm.
think she just assumed that it was over. But then I think she also looked at her like, "Dude, she's fucked up. You really want me to go at her?" Like, all right, fuck it.
Damn, man. That sucks, man. Poor Amanda. I knocked out twice.
Yeah, you know what? She looked good afterwards, though. She got knocked out standing. Basically, it was a standing TKO, and she didn't seem to take the stool or like rest up against the cage. She was still in the middle of the octagon and talking to Rodriguez and kind of like, still being kind of playful. So I think she was there. I think it didn't knock her out that bad, but yeah, I would have preferred it being stopped 10 seconds earlier instead of having her get back up and taking an elbow and like 10 more punches.
Yeah.
Especially with Rodriguez. See, she's not, she, again, like we said months ago, she reminds me of early Joanna,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know, like
Her style, just the way she moves, but she
so
got
aggressive,
power.
so aggressive. Yeah. And I think people would look at that too, like, oh, she's skinny. She's like skinny and lanky, but no, she's strong. You can tell. Hebus is a very strong girl, and she couldn't keep her down. That shows how strong she is. She kind of probably has like that John Jones strength where they don't look like it, but they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what? Amanda blows up to 140 pounds? 140 something?
I'm not surprised. Yeah, look at the legs on that woman, man. Like I'm not
Yeah.
surprised. But again, she's shorter. She's kind of
Mhm.
stout. But
Yeah.
Rodriguez is just yeah. I'm pretty sure Rodriguez cuts a lot of weight too.
Yeah, that was a good fight, though. I mean, given what happened. Ah,
Yeah, I
shit.
mean, yeah, that was the fight I tweeted before it. I was more excited about this fight than Connor and Poirier. I really was. I didn't necessarily like how it ended, even though I was psyched for Rodriguez winning. But I think for what it was, if you take that out of it, it was a pretty good fight.
Yep.
So to get into more women's MMA, JoJo beat Seven Shades of Shit out of Jessica I. This wasn't even close. Like I kind of felt bad afterwards watching it because I was like, this shouldn't have even been booked. Looking back at it now, had we known it was going to be this uncompetitive, like what was the point?
I enjoyed it. What? The bully
Yeah,
got beat up. I enjoyed it.
is she
That's
a
what.
bully?
Well, yeah, I guess that's what JoJo was saying. Like, people at the gym don't like her because she walks around like a bully. Nobody really likes her at the gym.
But they're not from the same. I thought Jessica
No,
had like her
I
own
think,
people, right?
yeah, I think, but they like see each other at the PA.
Oh, because of Vegas, the whole Vegas connection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Jessica's always been a head case, and I'm not surprised. There's something up with her.
Yeah, somebody else told me that too. Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Oh,
And she's not even
really?
part of that. Yeah. So she's
Ah,
like, yeah, I heard that too. I'm like, oh, interesting. So it's probably true then. It's not
yeah,
just, yeah, in that area
yeah,
that she's acting like that all the time.
yeah. Not that I would think it's likely of JoJo to lie, but yeah, yeah, I can see it. I can see it. I mean, we've seen her chance. I mean, she's very, at the very
Her,
least, delusional.
well, her chance and then her missing weight, talking shit about other fighters missing weight. It's like, excuse me, ma'am, how many times did you miss weight?
And then I didn't hear the whole thing, but they talked on the broadcast that she had like gallbladder issues.
Yeah, that's why she was out for a while. Wasn't she getting tested or like
She got
surgery
surgery.
done?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why she was out for a while. Was it prior to Valentina? I think it was prior to that fight. It wasn't after because I think she came back to fight almost immediately. I don't think she took that much time off, but
No, if I remember correctly, she fought Vivi after fighting Valentina. She blew weight for that fight. I think that was like 6 months later.
yeah.
And then she fought someone else, and I think she lost. And that I don't remember. Man, JoJo looked in prime form. I haven't seen her like that really since maybe the Valerie Letourneau fight a few years back. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, yeah. I like her like follow-up strikes. She's always looking for something.
Volume and yeah, constant activity and never
Hmm.
never gives you a break. She kind of reminds me of
No.
like if like Nate Diaz or Nick Diaz like new Muay Thai, you know, like her
Yeah.
punches and her kicks, like just always teeping at you, or the kicks to the knee, and like you just never get a rest with her.
Nope. God,
The
those kicks.
clinch.
Yes, the clinch work, the kicks to the face,
Oh
just
yeah,
up the middle.
she front kicked her in the face, man. She's done that a few times in her career too, and Jessica just smiled at it. I'm like, man, I don't know. That
All right.
I think it's supposed to piss you off, but okay.
Yeah, always up the middle and just, yeah, it was awesome, man. As soon as it started to settle down, like, yeah, just she went to work. It was beautiful.
I did just find it weird that afterwards she said that she'd fight whoever, which I'm not necessarily mad at, but given her position and that she probably should have gotten the title shot, and given how little competition there is in the division, she was just like, I'll fight right now, or if I have to fight 10 more people, that's fine. Like, I don't think she's in that position to where they're gonna make her do that anyway. But like, come on, JoJo, like you're too nice. I mean, you're a savage in the cage, but you're too nice. Like you know they're gonna lowball you whenever you end up fighting Valentina. Like, come on.
I know, right? She's so sweet, man. You and your little voice. It always
Yeah.
cracks me up when she's done fighting. I'm like, look at this little baby. Look at this little girl talking.
Have you seen these videos? I think they're on IG. Her what's his name, John Wood or whatever, the husband or fiance, has posted these videos of him scaring her all the time because I guess she frightens really easily.
Oh my God, really?
There's like a 4 minute, 3 minute compilation of him just like scaring her throughout the house. She's just like every time she just gets really scared, and it's even funnier because of her voice and shit. So she's like,
That's messed up.
"Ah!"
Keeping on her
It's funny.
toes.
I laugh. I'll DM it to you later. I gotta find it, but yeah, that shit's really funny.
Oh man, they're a cute couple, man. John Wood and JoJo. I wonder when they're gonna get married.
They're just engaged, right? They're not
Yeah,
married, right? Yeah.
at least a year now, I think.
Yeah, and then
It's
with
been a while.
COVID and stuff, yeah, you see, this is when we don't have to do our critique of you've been engaged for 18 years, like in the John Jones case. It's the COVID era, man. Shit ain't gonna move as quickly as you might want. You're forgiven in this time.
John Jones is waiting for his kids to graduate.
They got to be old enough to drive us there.
All right.
I don't want to pay for a chauffeur.
Chaperone.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's a good point. That might be a legit reason now. Who knows? But anyway, moving on. Co-main event. Michael Chandler made his UFC debut and did it emphatically, knocking out Dan Hooker. Was it just me or was this kind of a weird fight? Like both of them, it didn't really seem characteristic of Chandler or Hooker, because Hooker's pretty aggressive a good amount of the time, and he just seemed really, really laid back, like way too hesitant.
Yeah,
And Chandler was like really aggressive, like way more than usual.
yeah. I didn't expect it to go that way. I thought the height and reach would be a factor, and
Hooker's kicks,
yes, right.
his knees especially, because that's always been his weapon. And then with Chandler, who I mean, he didn't try to wrestle, but
No. I mean, in the back of my mind, I did have like questions like, how is he, because he had a war with Dustin and then Paul Felder, and his past few fights have been rough. So I was wondering how he's been, feeling and stuff like that. And yeah, just I didn't think it would ever go like that. Like I tweeted something like, "Holy shit," because I did not expect that. So amazing. I still have questions about Chandler. I mean, it's not like I've been watching him for a very long time. I have seen like weird fights where he's taking like a calf kick or something and his like leg went dead, and he lost the belt. He's fought Pitbull and
he's all of his
Henderson
losses. Yeah, all of his losses have been pretty fluky. And I'm not saying that as like some hardcore Chandler a fan. Like, no, they've been weird. Yeah, you're right. That ankle injury was very odd. That was like some shit that just happens every once in a while. It fucked him up. And then the second fight with Alvarez, a lot of people thought he should have won. And then he had those two fights with Will Brooks, and which one he quit, and the other one was just like he just got dominated. Those were like legit losses. And then he got kind of quickly KO'd by Pitbull. So yeah, they've all been kind of weird in a way. All his losses have been like weird in one way or another.
Yeah. So when Dan would like attack that leg, that foot, that calf kick, I was getting nervous. I was like, uh-oh, it's gonna happen again. Right?
And you could tell it hurt him too.
He
kind of reacted like, oh shit, he's gonna start falling all over himself.
Yeah. So thank God it didn't go that way. Because that would have sucked, right? Re-injured again, and just a weird fucking outcome for him. But damn,
for sure. For him. Yeah, for sure. Because then it wouldn't really tell us anything about Chandler or Hooker. Like, we know Hooker's good, but like, well, you didn't really beat Chandler. You just injured him in the way that we know he's been injured before.
Yeah. So good for him, man. But just I have questions about Dan. Like, did he retire? Somebody was saying that. Like, it was on the timeline on Twitter that he may have like retired and put his gloves on the canvas. Like, I didn't get to see that part.
He did take his gloves off. He was taking them off as they were announcing the decision. I don't know why. He definitely looked upset. So I kind of take it as that he was upset. He's mad that he, probably a bad loser. Was mad he pissed off. He was mad that he lost and just said, fuck it. I don't want to see these fucking gloves. Just take them off and bailed. There was no post-fight interview. I don't know if they would have given one to him anyway, but he didn't stick around. So I think he was just upset. But yeah, that'd be a weird thing to do. And I'm pretty sure Dana or somebody in the back would have asked him about it. Like, hey, are you done? I think they would have taken him to the back and at least have him made a statement like, oh no, yeah, just to bring up the issue earlier. Like, yeah, I am retiring.
Yeah. He's probably really upset because he didn't want to get knocked out like that so soon. So soon, and then now you can't see your family until February 21st? Is that what they mentioned? Because he has to be in quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's it too. All those emotions and all that hard work, and just it's done and over with. And now he can't even see his family until a month from now.
Yeah, and then it's weird. Like, so many people were hating on Chandler a few months ago before he even made as soon as he got signed. Because
right.
Well, I mean, I get it. I think there's still a lot of hardcore UFC fans. I don't mean MMA fans. I mean UFC fans that anybody that's from any organization is not the UFC sucks and they're going to get their ass kicked and it never works out well for them. Yeah, it's like I've always known Chandler was good. Yeah, obviously didn't know how good he was. I think this was a good fight for him. Obviously, he passed the test with flying colors, but I guess this conversation will bring us into the next fight, possibly. What do you think is next for him?
I don't know, because he's down to fight Dustin. Dustin doesn't want to fight him.
Mm-hmm.
Oliveira's out there, but I mean, he's waiting for that title. Like, it just got interesting at the top. Really interesting with them. They still haven't changed the rankings yet for them. I have no idea why. Everybody else, they seem to change.
What do you mean?
The rankings on UFC, like all the rankings, like yesterday, all the people that fought yesterday, all the fighters that fought, like the rankings have moved up and down, but for some reason, lightweight hasn't changed.
Oh, I thought they didn't do that till Wednesday. I thought it took a few days.
Oh, he was already dropped.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's maybe they're just taking their time for that one. Maybe on Wednesday they'll reveal.
Yeah. Conor went down on the pound for pound ranking, so there's some movement there. Yeah, so like maybe they're like trying to huddle up together and see what the hell's going on here and be decisive about shit.
Yeah, because Conor, it's like, well, he's in the same weight class, so they did something with pound for pound, but not in the division. Yeah, that's odd.
So if Chandler does move into Dan's ranking, that would be 6.
6, yeah. Which I think makes sense.
Yeah, and then Tony's there, Connor's there, Oliveira, Dustin, and Gaethje.
Okay, so we're gonna have this talk in just a few minutes. So obviously we gotta address the elephant in the room of what was the main event. And yeah, Poirier gets his revenge on Connor. Uh, I want to say brutally, but maybe viciously, knocked him out in the second round. We were talking about this off air, Reen. I mean, we were supposed to record a few days ago, and just time restraints, we weren't able to do it how we wanted to. But we did talk a little bit about this privately, and you and I said that we weren't really that excited for this fight.
Mm-mm.
Once they were in the cage and the fight started, like, did you get excited, or was it still just like, I just want to see what happens?
Yeah, I just want to see what happens.
That's interesting because I felt the same way. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think also too with Rodriguez and Hebus, and then even Chandler, all the other fights. I'm like, these were good. Like, I'm cool with this. This is just kind of like a bonus to me. It's kind of how I
Yeah,
viewed it.
yeah, right. It's just
Yeah.
it's just a fight. It's a rematch. It's not in the same weight class. What they fought like 6 years ago,
Yeah.
and
Both at
everybody just
featherweight.
yeah, and just everybody just brushed Dustin off, and I'm like, dude, he's been in fucking wars. He's been in amazing fights. He's in a different weight class, a weight class that he actually belongs. And Connor's been doing God knows what.
I know Connor was the favorite going into this one, and I think the first fight had a lot to do with it. But I think not a lot of people put enough into the fact that Poirier has been at this weight class for a long while, even before Connor, and has been doing great. I mean, I think it was after that fight when he lost to Connor is when he went up.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, yeah, he's been knocked out of his weight class too, but it wasn't like it was at featherweight. I mean, people would
Yeah.
always talk about Dustin. I still remember when he was at featherweight, like, man, he's great, but he's just chinny. Like, he's never going to be able to take big shots. And then he goes up in weight and he seems to take them way better. I mean, shit, he fought Gaethje in an all-out war and was good, knocked him out. So I think the weight class has always benefited him more because, yeah, okay, Connor knocked out Eddie. Um, but shit, now that I think about it, that's it. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's his only win at lightweight. Yeah, he knocked out Eddie. You know, because the Nate Diaz fights were at welterweight.
Mm-hmm.
He fought Khabib, lost at lightweight, and then fought Cerrone. That was at welterweight, right? Yeah. So, Jesus, he probably has more success at welterweight than even at lightweight. Yeah, I don't think that lightweight. It's a good weight class for him because I mean, obviously, it's still horrifying how much weight he used to cut to get down to featherweight,
Mm-hmm.
but that size advantage obviously worked out so well to his advantage because I mean, he knocked out Aldo, Poirier, Mendes, these guys that had really good chins. So it goes to show how ultra powerful he was at featherweight, but at lightweight, he's had to rely more on skills, and he is very skilled. But when he gets pushed back, he couldn't really get pushed back at featherweight because he was so big.
Mm-hmm.
He was kind of the bully there, you know. But yeah, he's getting a lot of pushback here.
Yeah. I didn't necessarily sleep on Dustin or anything. It's just I didn't care for who his opponent was. You know, it was one of those things. Like, yeah, okay, let's just see it. Let's see
Mm-hmm.
what happens. And the way that he did it,
Yeah.
I was like, fuck yeah, man, fuck yeah, amazing.
I was like, oh shit, when it happened because you don't see a Connor on the mat too often, obviously. But I was in shock, like, oh my god, he did. I'm like, no, yeah, this was always a possibility.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like last year, that's what I find funny. Like, and I know he'd been taking a long time off, and the last fight before that was Khabib, so there was a lot of intrigue. But I knew he was gonna smash Cowboy. I didn't think he was gonna smash him as quickly as he did. But I'm like, this is a foregone conclusion. Like, I'm not interested in this fight to see what's gonna happen. I'm only interested to see like how it'll go.
Right. Yeah.
And then in this one, I was like, no, either of them could win. It's kind of 50-50. So I wasn't really that surprised when Poirier did that because yeah, I did give him a shot, but I just it's just funny that it just brought me back like to Jose Aldo. Like that was the thing that everyone would talk about when that fight happened. It was like kind of 50-50 of what the media and fans thought who would win. And the people that picked Jose would always say like experience and more than anything leg kicks. Like Connor has never really taken leg kicks. He has a weird stance. He's gonna fuck him up. That fight ends in 13 seconds. And now Poirier, who has pretty good leg kicks himself, fucked him up in what, like 8 minutes?
Yeah.
Only took like 8 minutes to him to just kill his leg.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's MMA, man. You gotta focus on those kicks, bro. Like, what are you doing? This ain't boxing. I think it's happened before, right? Like people have kicked them. They have to. Even in sparring, you have to.
With Connor?
Yeah. Like, why wouldn't you?
I
Why
can't
wouldn't
think of
you?
anyone who's really leg kicked him. I'm
Well,
trying to
gotta
think.
be an if they don't practice those and keep in range and checking kicks and I don't know what the fuck they're doing because he's been in the game for a while and it's MMA, not boxing. I mean, he gave that excuse like, yeah, I wasn't like prepared for that or
Yeah,
like I'm like, what the fuck? Then go box. What do you expect? And then just Dustin even having like a black belt, like, do you think he would gonna get like put down or anything? Like it just seemed like he
he
was
didn't seem
focused on
ready.
that. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
focused on that 60 seconds of masterpiece and that was it. But what the
So
fuck?
yeah,
Yeah, like he put so much pressure on himself, it seemed like
yeah, and
trying
that's
to sell this fight.
that's the reason I've never really bought in with. Not saying. I mean, obviously he predicted a lot of things that did come true, a lot of crazy things too. Like I'm gonna make $1 million and all this shit.
Yeah.
That was the craziest one of them all. But the whole thing of him knocking out, I'm gonna knock him out in the first round. I'm gonna knock him out in this and that. I was never really impressed by it because I'm like, all he's doing is calling out his strengths. We know that he's a fast starter. We know he hits hard. We know he's accurate. It's not so much that he he just has a feeling for these things and he has this intuition and he can predict these things and all that. He knows himself and he knows like, okay, if I don't do this in the first or second round, I'm fucked. Because he was never like, I'm ready for war. Anywhere this goes, he'll be dominated. Nah, man, that's always been his thing.
Yep.
He's a 1.5 round fighter.
Yep, exactly.
And I've never dug that. I've never dug that about any fighter. I'm not cool with fighters that can only go for a round or two. Like,
Right.
because that was always, it's the whole puncher's chance to me thing too. Not that I'm saying Connor's only a puncher, but it's like, oh, he's very dangerous in the first and 2 rounds. Like if he can get out of there, and I'm like, nah, dude, I'm not with that fight. I want to know you'll be good for 5 rounds no matter what. And then if it's an issue of you being able to take punches, okay, you may or may not do that. But I don't have to have questions of like, oh, if it goes more than 10 minutes, you're gonna be fucked. Like nah, man. I've never been into those type of fighters.
Right. Because there's still so many questions like what can you do, up against the cage when you're constantly getting pressured? What can you do? How has your jiu-jitsu evolved? Like what else can you show us?
Yeah, that's why it took me so long to get into Nunes. I was not a hater, but I was kind of like, I'm not buying this chick too much with Nunes because she was that fighter for a long time, a long, long time. And people would be like, oh, yeah, well, she fades in the third, but so what? She's so dangerous. I'm like, no, but she's a champion now. How's she going to hold up? But look at her. She evolved. The Valentina fight, the Felicia Spencer fight, the Rocky fight. Like, she can go 5 rounds now.
Right. Yeah.
But we've never seen that with Connor.
No. I mean, Nate exposed him with the first fight, right? The
And
groundwork
yeah,
and everything, his
he
cardio.
went, yeah, and the second fight went 5 rounds, but it was rough as hell.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, he was running away from Nate at one point, trying to just catch his breath, like
Yep.
get himself together again. And it's like, okay, Nate did all that to you. So now we kind of know, but that's been so long. Like what's been going on ever since? And yeah, not much at all. I don't think it's going to fare well with them. Like I was thinking, like who could he fight next? Yeah, that fight with Nate is there. I don't think it's a good idea that Connor fights Dustin again. I really don't care to see it.
I would like to see it. I don't think I'd want to see it now, and I don't even think Dana would book it. I think the two main options are, Nate. I think Nate makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nate would want that. And the other one that makes a lot of sense to me is Ferguson.
I was thinking that too, exactly. I would rather see that more to see what happens, and then also like maybe a confidence booster for Tony.
And that's the thing is that I agree with you. Either of them are good, but I think I lean with Ferguson more. I guess the question is Connor going to want to cut? because obviously, he came back for the Cerrone fight after a layoff, did it at welterweight, and I think he knew like, okay, I gotta win. I can't just keep taking these random fights. Like I need to fight like an actual contender, which is why he fought Poirier. So with Ferguson, he'd have to go down to lightweight. I'm pretty sure. I don't think Ferguson's gonna try and go up. He'd have to go down to lightweight again, see if he's committed to the weight cut, and then yeah, it's a winnable fight for Tony. It's a winnable fight for Conor too. But that one I think has the most intrigue because I think now we're getting to the point where Conor like that Khabib fight is either absolutely done or very, 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 very unlikely to ever happen. So now it's a question of interesting fights for him. It was kind of like when Anderson started to fall off. Well, you didn't want to see him in the immediate title fights. You don't want to see him in title because you want to see who can he fight. What's interesting. So Nick Diaz, Michael Bisping, these guys that have been in the division that would be really exciting. I think that's where we're at with Conor.
Yeah, I think somebody else threw out like, yeah, it would be interesting to see him and Conor and Max match up again, but I don't want to see that. Max has unfinished business with Alex or whoever's gonna have that strap, or Ortega. So yeah, so he has that going on. He needs to stay there. Plus, Dana doesn't like him at 155. But yeah, with Tony though, yeah, that's more interesting to me. It's more his style, that shit talking, get his confidence up, get him in that cage again. That's what I meant by like confidence booster. Like, yeah, let's get this going again, get you out there, just shit talking. He's your, bad guy. You guys go at it. Make it entertaining. And let's see what happens.
And we have questions about both of them. So it's not just a thing like, oh, can Conor come back? It's like, well, can Tony come back? The exact same questions we have about Conor are the exact same questions we have about Tony.
Right. So, yeah, I'll put that together, man. And I'll buy it. Early on.
Well, aren't Asians supposed to be good at like planning and getting everything in order? You're procrastinating, Rain. What's wrong with you? I think this is on you.
Well, because it's a Conor fight, I'm just like, let me see what's up. And then I was like, well, it's Dustin, so let me just support Dustin. I'm pretty sure he's going to get pay-per-view points or whatever he has in his contract. And at the fact that this is Disney Plus, ESPN, I expected to be able to purchase the fight at any time. Given it's such a large and very popular platform, no, I wasn't the only one that had issues. There's a lot of people that had issues, and that's fucking unacceptable. Like, how much longer do we have to deal with this? I hate the fact that it's not consistent. It still hasn't. How long have I been like complaining about them? The streaming service.
I really think like maybe not the first day, but maybe like within the first month or two.
From the beginning, right? Since they moved to this platform, I'm like, the fuck, yo? When they gonna fix it? That's like 2 years ago, hasn't it? Hasn't it been like at least 2 years? Such bullshit, man.
The first one was Cejudo and Dillashaw, and yeah, I think that was 2 years ago. Yeah.
Such bullshit. So I should be able to get it at any time, people, especially those people that are like, oh, you should have planned better. Fuck you, man. Get better developers. If Disney Plus can stream all these fucking movies and have millions and millions of people on their fucking platform, why can't you do that for this? What is going on with this? I gotta troubleshoot this shit. I was getting pissed, man. I'm like, I'm gonna have to uninstall this and then install this again. I'm like, no. This should be working. So yeah, I wonder how many people like or how much money they lost out on.
I don't know if you heard, but I guess Dana, the presser, said that I don't know if it makes it any better or worse for you if you did or didn't hear this, but that it was mostly the West Coast that was getting this issue.
Thanks, man. Why? Because we're Democratic state.
I was gonna say, he's still trying to ride for Trump,
right? Fuck you, bald-headed bitch. Mm-hmm.
You don't deserve pandemic hell for anything either,
right? No pay-per-view, no PPE.
Hey, I'm on the West Coast. I was fine. I mean, and I ordered it. I don't know. See, there's the thing. I don't know what the cutoff time, quote unquote, whatever the cutoff time or when these people started having issues. But I think I purchased it maybe like 30, 40 minutes before the event. It wasn't like I purchased it way in advance. To be honest, Rain, usually that's around the time I do it, like maybe an hour, like hour and a half to like maybe when the prelim starts. Sometimes I'll buy it like at 5:30. But for the most part, yeah, I'll probably buy it like 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes before the main card starts. And the reason I do it is because I've seen people fall off of cards 20 minutes before they're supposed to fight. I still remember, I want to say it was UFC 175. Stefan Struve was supposed to fight, and they didn't say a word about him not fighting. He was like, I think like the third fight on the card. They didn't say a word about it until the main card started. Now, granted, it's Stefan Struve. It wasn't like he was the main event. It was like I don't give a shit in the long run. But if that was a fight I really wanted to see, I want to know that.
Yeah, right.
You know, and then like all this shit. Remember UFC 200 with John Jones and Brock and DC and Misha Tate and all this shit. Like I remember. I don't know why. I don't know at the time. I forget what cable or satellite or whatever I had, but I would usually order it like on my remote like a normal person. For some reason that day I was having issues, so I called to make the order, and the operator told me, oh, by the way, do you know what's up tonight with this card? I was like, do you mean that the main event is no longer John Jones and Daniel Cormier? He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm aware. I'm like, you still want to purchase the card? I'm like, yes, I do. So they told me that like an hour before I made the order. So yeah, you're right. Yeah, you should be able to get it whenever you want, even if you're like 20 minutes late to the main card. But still, like ESPN, UFC, all these people need to be aware. Like shit happens at the last minute with these fights, especially now with COVID. Like we've had people who fall off the same morning, right?
Yeah. Or just people's planning. It's like, no, I don't want to go out now. You know, because we got things going on too. Like maybe my kid got sick or something. I just want to stay home. I don't want to like go out anywhere. Maybe I had plans to go see it at a different house. I know I'm not supposed to go from house to house because we're in a fucking pandemic, but still.
Yeah. Well, in typical, yeah, in the usual circumstances for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we've been in the pandemic, so yeah. But even prior to that, there's always been issues. So it's like, what the fuck, man? But yeah, you're right. Like when I used to buy it off of like, cable, Xfinity, whatever, like easily. It just goes through because it's hardline or something. I have no fucking clue, man. But it's just this app, man. I just want to smack some developers.
Well, and that's the thing. You have and again, I was teasing, but you have more of a right to talk too because you're knowledgeable in this field.
Drive me nuts. So, whatever, man. You can get my money.
Yeah, and then again, I don't know if you heard the presser, but he was saying that I guess month by month he's gonna be targeting a streamer, a well-known streamer. So
good
month
luck.
by month this will go. So yeah, it's a cat and mouse game like it's always been. I think he's just putting it out in the open. And by the way, this is something we're gonna talk about in the original show that we never did. But this is the thing too that. We were just joking about Biden and Trump trying to do this to fuck over the West Coast because of Trump and all this. But also, I don't know if people realize this or if they've thought about it, that this is, I mean, I guess you could say it's Trump's doing, but there's a reason why I believe, and I'm pretty sure I'm right, although he hasn't said it, but I'm pretty sure that Dana's been real got a big pair of balls lately about cracking down on streamers. Because of the COVID bill, the bill that just passed in December with the $600, those $600 that you already wasted on that PS5, that shit had provisions in it that you could get 10 years for illegally streaming. That was a news story for a few days. I don't know if anybody read that shit, but you think that Disney, ESPN Plus, Endeavor, these big corporations aren't in on this shit? You know what they told Dana? You think that's why he's saying all this?
I didn't even know that, man.
You didn't know this?
No, man. 10 years for illegal streaming?
Yes.
It was in the bill?
It was in the bill. Yeah. Aside from all the aid to fucking Uganda and Israel and Syria and all these fucking countries that are failed states or that we're at war with or that why the fuck are we even helping some of that? All this shit in all that in the 5,000 page bill was something that you can get 10 years imprisonment for pirating movies, events, etc., etc.
I'll do more time than the motherfuckers that stormed the Capitol and threatened Congress people? Oh, you can kiss my ass.
Well,
Fuck you.
they, to be
And they're talking about, oh, maybe we might flood the judicial system too much if we charge all these people. So don't give me that bullshit. You should actually fix your system, and we wouldn't have to do all this shit and
now
pay
you're
the fucking
talking.
fighters, right?
Now you're
Fix your shit, and we wouldn't have this problem. You don't have to go and hound people. You need to fix your own goddamn backyard.
Yeah, now you're talking about systemic change and all that shit, you know, that radical extremist shit. Hey, those people wanted systemic change too. They wanted their guy to win.
Oh my god, crazy, man. You can't even fix your own shit, just like the government, and you try to put people in jail. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, so that's why I think whoever that guy was, he didn't say him by name, but that guy, he said in the presser that he made a statement or something or tweeted something out like, I will not be streaming the Poirier fight. And he's like, good on you, you know, like just know, like, had you streamed that, we were on you, we are gonna get you. So
That's
good thing you
so
didn't do it.
weird. I think there's like more than one. There's more than one, and then
Oh, of course.
somebody was saying like it's so weird on if you Google the fight, it comes up as like the fight's canceled or something. So somebody's like fucking around on the back end, they think, and maybe that's the reason why the ESPN, streaming service went down because maybe some hackers got pissed off because of what Dana was threatening with. Because it was weird, like on Google, if you Google it, I saw the screenshot. Maybe it might be fake. I don't know, but other people mentioned it too. There's like it's canceled. Like that's weird. How are we going to get the fight? We have to find alternatives to get the fight somehow, right? And maybe the hackers did something and posted that and then jack shit up in the back end. Who knows what's going on?
Yeah, that's
I wouldn't fuck with hackers.
If that is the case, that's fucked up and kind of funny at the same time because that's basically going of if I can't have her, nobody can. Like if
Right.
I can't stream this event and cost you money, I'm just gonna cost you money regardless. Damn,
Right.
they're going all in with that shit. If that is the case, allegedly, whatever.
Maybe some little kid in China fucking everything up.
Not to get all into all that, but I think if we're talking hacking, I always go with Russia on that one. But they seem to have it down somehow. It's even funnier too because if allegedly, if you go like on certain, it's probably hard to find now. But I remember when I was younger, you could see things with like, fights that maybe 2 or 3 days ago just happened that you could only purchase on pay-per-view. There was always like Russian subtitles on them. So
I'll have to pay attention to that.
I don't think you're going to be able to find that much anymore, especially with, again, this COVID bill and God knows. We still don't know. We still don't know even half of probably of what the shit that was in that bill. We might not ever fully find out. So, and then kicking Trump off Twitter and all the shit that's been happening online. I mean, there's so many goddamn issues of things that we're probably never going to know of anymore.
Crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so McGregor fighting Ferguson, that makes sense. Chandler and Poirier, though, we're still left here, right? We can't figure it out. I think Nate Diaz has to be some in this mix somehow. But he's another one where I don't know because he likes to fight at 170 as of late. I'd like to see Nate. I know this might not make a lot of sense and people probably wouldn't be on board with this, but it's one of those I think you just got to book it and the fans will come. I think Nate versus Michael Chandler would be really good. And I think, although it doesn't make a lot of sense, I think after the fight's over, it will make sense.
Well, Nate posted a picture of him and Dustin, and he said, I'm training to whoop your ass next. Be about it, don't talk about it. So he tweeted that.
Yeah.
So he's interested in that one.
Here's the thing, though, is that I would love to see him and Chandler because I think it's an interesting stylistic matchup. Now, I don't think Nate's going to want this because, again, he's like the newbie and he's going to be that, oh, man, I've been in this shit for 10 years and who are you? You're just a fucking scrub and this and that. Plus, he's a wrestler, so you're just going to be doing that gay wrestling shit because we already know Nate Diaz is lying about that. But I think it would make sense because I think it would sell a lot of pay-per-views, whether it's the main event, co-main event, whatever.
Yeah.
And, because we know of Nate's fan base, I think it could be an interesting fight, even if it's not all that exciting. And then we still got to remember Nate Diaz's jiu-jitsu. Chandler's never been submitted from what I remember. I don't know how good his jiu-jitsu defense is. So I want to see how he deals with Nate's boxing, but I also want to see how he deals with him on the ground because I don't think it's necessarily a given that he's just gonna lay and prey on him.
Right. Yeah. He has some options. I think Dustin is interested in whooping Nate's ass too. So
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that one. I wouldn't be mad at that one, but again, we'll see if he wants to come down in weight because it's been an issue for him too. I mean, when's the last time Nate fought at 155? Michael Johnson? Was that what, 5 years
so
ago?
I think
Five,
so.
6 years ago?
Yeah. Because after that call out of Connor, and then he got what he
Honor,
wanted, and
yep.
yeah, it's just been time off here and
Showtime,
there. And
Masvidal, all welterweight.
yeah, so yeah, we'll see, man. It's just still Oliveira's just sitting there like, all right, when is it gonna be my time?
Yeah, I think Poirier and see that's why I want Chandler to fight Diaz because I would prefer Poirier and Oliveira because I think to me that's for sure like if Khabib's really not coming back, that's the fight. Those are the top two guys, like
Right.
without a doubt.
Yeah, I agree.
Chandler, we still have questions about. Like, I don't want him getting a title shot after one win off of the sixth guy. So
Yeah.
Diaz, although he's not necessarily a contender, if he beats Diaz, people are gonna be like, "Damn, I want to see that dude fight." And if Diaz beats Chandler, people are gonna be like, "Oh, damn, he's back! Like, I want to see him fight for a title."
Yeah.
But I don't
I
think
don't
it's
know,
gonna
man.
happen.
Oh, because Dana trying to make money, and what makes more money, it'll probably be the other way around.
Oliveira and Chandler and Diaz and Poirier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that either. But yeah, again, I have a feeling. I don't know why I have this feeling that Diaz doesn't want to go down to lightweight.
Yeah. Getting up there. Who knows what he's doing? I don't know. I haven't seen any of his Instagrams to see if he's like still like doing the marathons and stuff. I mean, his brother
Nate.
was training at one point, so I don't even know what's going on with that. Yeah, Nate and Nick.
Yeah, it's funny, right? Dana hasn't even really talked about that, and that was like a big news thing a few months ago.
Yeah, Nick's training again and looking good, but yeah, nothing's come about it.
Many questions as of now. We'll see. I mean, we're not going to have a UFC for a few weeks here. They're leaving Fight Island. They're coming back to Vegas. I guess Dana's a little worried because it sounds like they were going to have some fans at the Apex for the next fight, or they were trying to do that. And I guess now he did make word of Biden. I did find it odd that nobody questioned him on that. That what do you think is going to happen with Biden and all this? Because his boy Trump's out. But I guess he's worried about some of these quarantines that I guess Biden wants to enact. I just saw a thing as we were talking that I guess he's going to limit or restrict travel from Brazil and some European countries. I guess he's probably worried about that new strain or something.
Yeah, they have to do testing and then they have to quarantine. So they have to have a test, right, before they come over.
I believe so.
Yeah, and then in quarantine. So make sure you send the fighter some tests, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, what the fuck happened with that dude?
Oh, that's right.
With the balcony and the bag. Anything? Any word? Was it cocaine or anything? Cocaina?
He didn't say. He didn't say. He claimed he didn't know. He claimed he didn't know. He didn't say though. He didn't say, and yeah, that's
I want to know, man. Like, they
yeah.
took off the wrist, gave it to dude somehow, and then dude got into the bubble, but had to scale a balcony?
Yeah, I'm sure if you guys don't know what we're talking about, you probably heard this, but we're talking about Ottman Azaitar. I believe I'm saying his name correctly. He got cut from the UFC after failing to make weight, and apparently, yeah, he was trying to give his wristband, his like COVID security pass wristband that they've been doing in this bubble to someone else, and that they scaled the balcony trying to get into his room. I don't know if this was just a friend of his that wanted to be in the crowd. I don't know if he was like dealing drugs or weapons, or I have no idea what this dude was up to, but it was weird. And I hope, well, apparently the the guy, whoever that guy was that was scaling the balcony, I guess the authorities got him over there. So I don't know. I don't know if this because I think Ottman. I don't know if he's Turkish or Moroccan or something. I know he's from the Middle East somewhere. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that guy. I don't know if he was from Abu Dhabi or he's from elsewhere. If he's gonna get deported back to his country, I don't know, man. I don't because they asked Dana too, of like, oh, if they're gonna be criminal charges against Ottman. He said, no, like, I think him losing his fight and getting cut's pretty bad. Like, it wasn't necessarily illegal. It was just not right. But I guess the other guy, I guess I'm assuming, I don't know, maybe trespassing, possibly breaking and entering is. I don't know what the laws are over there, but you can get into something like that. I don't know.
That's insane, man. That man, you're stupid. God, you are so stupid to just lose your job like that.
How desperate could how right? Like how big of a deal was this that you had to you risked it all?
Right. Like, was it food? Was it had to be drugs or something, right? Right. I mean, because you can have whatever you want. They'll make it for you. They're taking care of your dry cleaning. You know, you're being treated like a king. What could you possibly need? Mats? If you needed mats, if you needed gear, like, they would have just gave it to you. But it had to be drugs, right? It had to be something.
Who knows? I really have no answer. I have no idea. Especially because we don't really know anything about the guy. We really all we knew is that he hit like a motherfucker and that he was Middle Eastern. That's about all I knew from him.
Damn, dude. I wonder if we can Google it later and see like incident and pull up the article or something.
I just hope he comes out one day and talks about it. Like, just, laughs at himself and like, yeah, that was dumb. I did that.
Well, put it part of the thrill and the agony. Can they add that part? Sprinkle that in, like let the man know, man.
Yeah, I don't know where well, I guess the thrill and maybe getting away with it, right? Because you missed weight, so there was already agony in that. Usually when you miss weight, you're injured or something's going horribly wrong. Every once in a while, there's just some lazy motherfucker who doesn't want to cut, but he was already off to a bad start, and then you lose your job. He technically, I guess, got fired on his day off.
Yeah, true.
Dude,
the fuck happened to you, man? What a disgrace. He's Middle Eastern too. Gonna lose your finger later or something.
I think they just go with your hands. I think you're thinking of Yakuza.
Oh, okay.
Different people.
You brought dishonor to our family.
Yeah. Well, there's the whole honor killings too, but that's a different thing, and it's a different cultural thing. But
so if we don't hear from that guy anymore, he's been whacked, possibly.
Probably. And then think about it, like what? I mean, I don't know. Well, maybe one. I don't think he'd go with one. I think he lives in that part of the world over there. One's closer. They claim to be all about dignity and transparency and self-respect, but we know they're not. So maybe they're just whatever. And if the issue was steroids, like, just let us know, man. You can do whatever the fuck you want here. Oh, by the way, speaking of one, I was gonna tweet this a few days ago and I forgot. I guess I started watching the fights and I forgot about it. But now that I brought it up, they're having fans too.
Oh yeah, it's Singapore.
Singapore, yes, I saw some of the fights, their event from a few days ago, and they have fans there. I'm like, so I know Singapore was pretty strict early on, and then all the immigrants came, and they started having issues. I don't know what happened after that regarding Singapore, but we know that one doesn't really have fans, and they just throw tickets at people to go to their events. So people are risking COVID to go to a one event, and one is risking people getting COVID just so they have some fans for free at the stands.
It's all friends and family. You're like risking their friends and family.
Like, right? I mean, there's also always a possibility, maybe since people have been shut in for so long, they actually put these tickets on sale. People legitimately bought them because they're like, I just want to get out. Obviously, that's possible too. But we've known the stories with one forever of how they just give everybody they know 50 tickets and get people in the stands. But
right, yeah.
I was like, why? They were like the first ones too. I remember they were like the first ones that they started canceling events because of COVID. Like clearly they took it seriously, but now they're like, okay. And then I don't know how the Singapore government. I guess they've opened up some. I don't know.
That's interesting. Well,
Yeah, right.
they be caning people if you litter, so okay.
Even if you're white, you guys don't know that there's a story. I think in 1994, 95 of some. I believe he was American. Some
Yeah, I
dude
think
that
so.
went over there, and I don't know. I guess he was partying, and he's like pissed in the street and vandalized some cars, and they caught him and they whooped his ass. Literally, they caned him 4 times, I think, and they started doing like international petitions of this can't go on. This is inhumane. You know, he didn't do anything that bad, and they just said, "Fuck y'all, we're caning his ass."
Huh. Don't come to other people's country and fuck around, man.
If you don't know, too, Singapore is one of the most interesting countries in the world because they have like a 5% tax rate. Their tax rates are incredibly low. It's a very wealthy nation. Like even normal people have like a pretty decent living. Yeah, I don't think they even have a minimum wage, but there's cameras everywhere. There's like no freedom of speech. I think you can drink at 18. Prostitution's legal, but no drugs at all. To the point that I think they talked about this in the UFC like a year back too. I think they did an event in Singapore a while ago, and that they will drug test their citizens when they come back from like if they go from travel abroad, and they will jail your ass if they find drugs in your system. Even if you're not from Singapore, even if you're just a visitor, they can drug test you and they can put you in jail if they find drugs in your system, even if you're not a citizen. A
You don't
lot
fuck
of
around, man.
material, a lot of material well-being, but the freedom stuff, yeah, yeah,
Yep.
it's an interesting place.
Yeah. Completely locked down, clean. Bathrooms are all
Private,
nice.
very clean too. Yeah, I've heard of that too. Yeah,
Everything's functioning, but yeah.
don't go all American with your liberties over there. They will fuck you up. Should we end it here, Irene, or should we end it with Mayweather? I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, I want
Oh
to
my
talk about this, but I
god.
don't know. How long can we go on with this?
Mayweather, man. Why did you even bother?
I don't know. It's hilarious to me. I don't know.
the whole like it's just crazy. He doesn't need to do that. He's 43 years old. Cardinal's what 32. They're like 11 years apart. He's trying to play this whole like reality show, social media, YouTuber bullshit with this comment. I mean, yeah, racism is there. I'm not saying that it's not. You know what I mean? But he's not your average person. He's not your average man. Like he has so much, you know? And he's supposed to be the greatest, but for him to come down to Connor's level, like it's just I don't get it, man. Like, are they trying to stir up another fight because Pacquiao was in the mix, or what is this? I just don't understand this play.
Yeah, we're talking about Mayweather. He made a post after Connor's loss about Connor's, I guess, approval or just how cool everybody is with him is proof that racism still exists. If you guys didn't catch this, he was saying that it's proof that racism still exists because he's black and he acts basically the same way, but he always gets negative attention for it. He always gets shit for it. And Connor can lose all these fights and act like a dick and this and that, but everyone still loves him. Yeah, you're right on, Marine. I can't really disagree with anything you said here. And it's interesting because this is definitely the road I take regarding much talk about race in the country. It's like, especially I think it comes down more to money than the color of your skin. But we're kind of on the same page here. You and I don't always agree on this issue, but yeah, you're definitely we're definitely on the same side here. And I watched something. Actually, I was watching this before the fights last night. It may seem it may seem irrelevant, but it is a bit tangentially related. I was watching this new documentary that came out on HBO about Tiger Woods. I don't give a shit about golf. All I knew, Tiger Woods is literally the only golfer I can name you. I don't know anything about the sport. But it was interesting. It was this two-part documentary following his whole life. And of course, it kind of culminated with the scandals of the women that car crash and all this shit. And I didn't know, I didn't follow it too much at the time. I just knew he was in trouble. I know he had like some drug issues and women were his thing. But then I saw something that I was unaware of. I guess his first game back after that whole thing happened with the cheating and all that and the car accident, the head of the Augusta golf course, like that's where they have the Masters, like the big tournament, made a public statement and said, "We are very disappointed in Tiger. He let us all down. He let our children down. This was a big betrayal. We hope he never acts like this. This is not reflective of the PGA or the Masters or anybody in this sport." And he just chastised them for some shit going on in his personal life. It's not like he said something offensive or like flipped off the crowd at one of their games. This is as bad as the incident was. It was a personal thing. And that's one of those things, as rich as Tiger Woods is and was, I can see that being way more of a case of like, clearly this is clearly an issue that racism still exists. This is in Georgia. We know it's predominantly white people that play golf, especially there. I didn't know until I watched this that up until like the early 90s, they were still allowed to not allow black people to play at some of these courses. So like that was some real racism that Tiger Woods faced. I don't know how you can put that on the same scale as just Mayweather saying people are mean to me, even though I beat women and always have issues with my taxes and God knows what else.
The strip clubs in Vegas when he could probably be doing something else, whatever. Well, that's his money, that's his business, whatever. But like, you can't complain about how people view you if this is what you do and you do it openly. The pictures of just money laid out and shit. The belts.
You're an asshole.
Right? The belts are one thing. Great. You look at those accomplishments. I can't knock you for that. You're one of the best boxers in the world, right? But the money and shit, it's expected, right? People are gonna talk shit to you.
To be fair to Connor too, we've mentioned this off air. It's a different thing. Like you mentioned earlier, different era. He's a little old. Connor's a little younger. The thing too, I think we got to talk about is, there's different demographics at play, but the thing is, it's a different sport. Connor's okay. He's not the first millionaire the sport's ever made, but he's the first probably the first guy to make 8 figures. Right. Like GSP, I'm sure has like $5 million in the bank, or maybe Chuck Liddell at one point did, or John Jones, Brock Lesnar. But this is the first guy that he's got what, 80, 90, $100 million in the bank. That never happened before Connor. So, not to defend Connor, but in this case, like, I get why people don't really give him shit for that, because it's like, dude, he's literally the first guy to do this.
Right. Yeah. Different generation. Connor's grown up with social media and all this. Mayweather's been around, totally different. Connors has had these different platforms. He's had his own platform, right? Yeah. So that definitely makes a difference. He's not from this country. Mm-hmm. So there's that other factor too. So, I mean, popularity wise, like, that's not his fault that people know him more.
Yeah.
So I think that's another factor. Like, people know him more than who Floyd Mayweather is. If you're not a combat sports fan, then I don't think you would know, right? You'd have to follow the sport somewhat.
Yeah.
So, and then Connor's just out there. He's just everywhere.
Yeah. So is that kind of what you took this as? Like, it's just jealousy?
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Why are you picking a fight with
a guy you already beat?
Somebody you already beat. Totally different generation. You didn't, maybe had you been the same age, you grew up in the same generation, use all these platforms to, polarize yourself, then maybe you have something there, but it's totally different.
Different country, different sport as well.
Right. So, like, why even put yourself in that position? Like, I think, we're talking about this off air. Like, Connor, it might just be a splash in a pan for him. Like, that's it, because he's only been here for how long? And Mayweather's been here for years, and he's been making his money, and he's going to continue to make his money.
What I find really funny too is, especially, I hear this all the time from media white people, black people, fans, whoever that was into boxing would always talk about Mayweather that like weren't buying into the character and all that. It's like, look, man, I like Mayweather for his boxing, all that showy shit, that flashy shit of the money and the girls and all that. Like, yeah, he's playing the villain, like he's playing the part, he's playing the villain. He wants you to be pissed off at him, so you buy his pay-per-views, which fair enough. They're right about that. He hasn't fought in how many years, and he hasn't fought anyone significant since what, Pacquiao basically. So he's essentially been retired for 5 years. Why are you still posting all these pictures on Instagram and acting the quote unquote acting the part? Why are you still playing the part of the villain? Like you gave that up, right?
Right. I mean, didn't he change his persona a few times, even just coming up as a boxer?
Pretty boy Floyd, that was him back in the day. Then after he fought De La Hoya, it became Money Mayweather, and then there was the chains and the cars and all that shit afterwards. But what are you doing now? Like you've been established as one of the best ever, one of the richest, still I think the richest athlete even now, even though you're not fighting. Like what more do you want, man?
Right. And then you put yourself in these situations, outside of the girls and the cash and whatever, the Tenshin fight, the first McGregor fight. Like you're putting yourself in these positions to, have people talk about you. You didn't have to do this. You didn't have to come down to their level. Now you can't scream now. You can't cry about it now. When you're always at the top of the fucking mountain, you didn't have to come down to their level. That's his fault.
It's like if Jeff Bezos started crying about like, why does everyone hate me? How come everyone likes Elon Musk? How come Elon Musk gets all the love? And how come nobody likes me? Motherfucker, you have $150 billion in the bank. Shut the fuck up.
Jeez, man. Yeah.
Well, and now Musk took him over, so now he's probably really pissed.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But you know what? To be fair, good on Musk, and at the same time, fuck him, because now if you're the richest person, you're always going to get shit. Musk has been getting shit from some people, but now he's really going to be getting shit because now they're really going to be digging deep. Like, how did you get so rich? So it's coming.
Especially now, right? Because he gave Dave Chappelle COVID.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Dave Chappelle got COVID.
I know he has COVID, but what, Elon Musk gave it to him?
I guess his girl had it.
Elon Musk's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Or wife.
Well, whoever she is, they had a baby or whatever not too long ago. But that same gal, I guess she had COVID like 2 weeks prior to her coming out and seeing that show in Austin, Chappelle's show, and them hanging out, all of them hanging out together. So it's a possibility that they were the ones that carried it and gave it to him.
I'm sorry. If you guys have listened to the show, you know that we love Chappelle here. I'm not laughing at Chappelle's misfortune. That's very sad and tragic. But if that's the case, if they could actually, quote unquote, contact traces and know that it was this woman that gave it to him, and then there was like a cancel Elon Musk for giving Chappelle COVID. Like, oh man, I'm sorry. I find that tragically funny. I don't know why.
That's messed up, man. Trying to take out
the GOAT.
Our comedian, the best comedian of all time, our generation's number one guy.
I don't give a shit how cool your cars are, Elon. We can't replace Chappelle.
Yeah, fuck your cars, man. Even though my kid wants me to get one. I'm like, what?
Oh, no.
I'm like, damn, this motherfucker even got my kid talking about a Tesla.
That's some propaganda shit right there, man.
I know. I'm like, how old are you, kid? Wow. I'm like, why do you want a Tesla? He's like, because you can drive by itself. I'm like, how the hell? We don't talk about Teslas. I'm like, dude. Elon, you sending signals to my kid's computer or something? Like, what is this? Yeah, my kid wants a Tesla.
Hilarious. Kind of scary, but hilarious. Wow.
So yeah, fuck you, Elon. You better not leave Chappelle alone. Stay away from him. Go wash your hands.
All right. I think we'll leave this here because we'll just keep on ranting, as you guys know we'll do. But yeah, this is just meant to be a review post show. Keep an eye out. Not sure when the next podcast will drop, but it'll be within the next week for sure. Might be Saturday, Sunday, Friday, who knows, Monday. So just keep your eyes peeled for that. No fights as of right now, but just enjoy this time, I guess. Do something productive with your life. Spend it all on Twitter. Don't just be waiting on fights. And we'll catch you all next week. Later.
See ya.